We're back to Lowe's Motor Speedway with qualifying for Stock Car Racing's All-Star Night, the Winston. A very unique qualifying format because the War Wagons are being wheeled in to pits 15 through 21. Here, the pit crew is every bit as important as the driver in this once-a-year, one-time-only qualifying session. Hi, everybody. Mike Joy with Larry McReynolds and Darrell Waltrip. And, Darrell, we saw drivers practicing burnouts and launches into the pit from the... I mean, this is really, really going to be a strain and really tough on the driver.
Well, it is, but it's fun because you're going to get to do a few things you don't normally get to do. You're going to take the green flag, and then you're going to come on pit road, and you got to come on pit road at pit road speed. That's normal. But the neat part is when they drop that jack this time, get out of the way because they're getting ready to leave Dodge because there's no speed limit leaving. So the getting out of the pit is very, very critical. Obviously, getting in is going to be about the same for everybody, but getting out is going to be the key.
3 qualifying laps, including a pit stop in the middle. Larry, is this an opportunity for these pit crews, or is this a lot of pressure on them?
Well, I mean, you better believe it. It's definitely a lot of pressure, but it's an opportunity for these guys to shine. And when you think about an all-star weekend, it's about the team itself. And, you know, it's not always the fastest lap, but what's going to count here, like Darrell said, is that driver getting through 3 and 4, coming to pit road, and in that 4-tire stop, no mistakes. You cannot have any mistakes. That driver can't make any mistakes getting on or off pit road as well.
Well, he can, because that's going to. I don't think anybody will do it perfectly. There's a lot of things. A lot of things can happen here on your run. You get a good lap, then you have trouble in the pits, have trouble on the track, make it up in the pits. So a lot of things can happen. The guy that can do it all the best is going to be the guy that comes out on top.
Well, let's get down to where they're getting ready. And Dick Berggren.
And I'm down here with the drivers and the crew chiefs, and they would certainly agree with what you guys have just said in the booth. The drivers are talking about how they can get onto pit road with that 45-mile-an-hour speed limit, get onto it as well as they possibly can, go at the drop of the jack. Joe Nemechek just told me at the end of pit road, he figures you're going to be doing 120 miles an hour. Guy that can do 130 is going to have a real advantage. Let's go to Matt Yoakum.
Well, Dick, drivers aren't the only people who've been practicing this week to get on pit road. The crew guys have been practicing back at the shop on their stops, remembering back to last year when guys like Rusty Wallace, they would have been second on the grid, but yet a 5-second penalty to a loose lug nut made their 18th, 19th, or even 20th on the grid. So they know the old slang, the old slogan, won or lost on pit road could never be more true than here tonight because pit stops will be very crucial. One small mistake is pit stops and also rows on the grid. To Steve Burns.
Well, Matt, Bobby Labonte's the first driver on the racetrack in qualifying, and his team has been practicing at the shop every night as well. You talk about motivation, Mark Armstrong, how about your motivation?
$50,000.
That goes to the winning pit crew, Mike Joy.
It's a lot of money for a pole.
I mean, it really is. When you think about it, this 3 laps could mean, and I think the way it's divided up is $25,000 to the driver and $25,000 to the team. But there is some rules that goes with this. Darrell talked about it, pit road speed 45 miles per hour, but that's only coming in. But they're going to be watching a lot of other things. Should you speed on pit road, it's going to be a 20-second penalty added to your total time. Loose lug nuts. Now, they're not going to check the torque on these lug nuts. Should it be one missing or not all the way up against the wheel? 5 seconds, and that's per lug nut. Now, your stop-and-go type penalties would be like running over the air hose, not having the tires back across halfway of the pit box before the car leaves. 5 seconds. Pitting out of the box, you're disqualified. You're going to start the Winston at the rear of the field.
So, like I said, there's a lot of chances to mess up.
Now, you saw there a 7-man pit crew. There will be no fueling, so what that means, these teams are going to have insurance on these tires rolling away because that would be a penalty. You're going to have 4 guys handling the tires, 2 tire changers, and a jack man.
A night for the pit crews to shine. We'll see who ends up on the pole for Stock Car Racing's All-Star Night.
Glad I don't have to go first.
If you joined us late, Steve Park has won the pole for the Winston Open over Todd Bodine, Jimmy Spencer, Mike and Kenny Wallace. And here's the way they will qualify tonight. Bobby Labonte first, Jamie McMurray in his first Winston. And on down through the rest of the drivers and teams that are eligible for the All-Star race. 23 of them, 24. Will start. Steve Park hoping to be the 24th. Whoever wins the Winston Open will take the final spot on the grid.
Well, we saw that happen last year. Brian Newman, you know, won the open race and then went on to win the big bucks.
So it can be done.
Can be done.
Newman beat Dale Earnhardt Jr. to the checkered flag for the All-Star race. Some folks thought Jr. had a chance to turn Newman, and Jr. said nope. He says that's not the way I want to race. Might have had that chance, but didn't. Joe Gibbs, Super Bowl winning coach, Winston Cup winning team owner, motivating his team to come onto the field. This time, instead of crossing the line, they'll be crossing the wall.
Yeah, I asked him, I said, Coach, what do you do during the race? He said, I got a radio, but I realized it didn't even hooked up.
I can listen only.
Dick Berggren.
Yeah, let's talk to Joe Gibbs about that teamwork stuff. You are just a legend in terms of being able to motivate a football team. What do you do to charge these guys up for fast tire changes tonight?
Well, actually, all I do over here is try and pick the guys. Michael's job, he gets on them pretty good, and Zippy on the other end, so we have good leaders. They're really the coaches of this. I enjoy it because it is teamwork, and I got to tell you, I think even the drivers will be the first to tell you, you know, they probably are going to pick places where they have real good people to work with, and so it's a team sport, and I think that's one of the reasons everybody likes it is because it's so hard to do.
Joe Gibbs, a great people picker. Steve Burns.
Well, thanks, Dick. With Robbie Loomis, crew chief for Jeff Gordon. Now, Robbie, how important is this to your guys that go over the wall for recognition?
It's extremely important. You know, it's kind of like the pit crew race we have at Rockingham. They've trained really hard. Matt Clark, the pit crew coach, has been working incredibly hard with them. They're on fire right now. It's going to be a little unique situation. We don't have to put gas in the car, put a little different twist in it, and then the driver being in the middle of the mix, being able to lead pit road as hard as he can will make it real exciting.
Have they put any extra hours of practice in for this?
Oh, yeah. They've trained hard. The pit crew, you know, they work hard every week, but this is a little something extra for the pit crew, and we're really looking forward to it.
Best of luck, Robbie.
Thanks, guys.
I see a lot of tension down there on pit road, Larry.
Well, they know right there what they do on pit road on that pit stop. That can mean the difference. You heard Mark Armstrong talk about it. $50,000 or nothing.
That's all he said. That's what's on his mind.
That's all need to be said.
I bet you won a lot of races, Darrell, that didn't even pay $50,000, didn't you?
How did you know that?
Just a good guess.
Qualifying next.